Everybody knows that Skynet is the artificial intelligence responsible for the future war between humans and machines. But what nobody knows is what Skynet looks and sounds like. While we did get something in Terminator Salvation and Terminator Genesis, those versions weren't exactly true to what the lore had previously described. So who is the face of Skynet? The answer is very simple. It's the original Terminator. Now, while this does seem ludicrous to some of you, please allow me to explain myself. First off, there is a saying that man was created in God's image. If this is to be taken even somewhat seriously, then machines were made in man's image. Now, while Miles Bennett Dyson was indeed the creator of Skynet, the T-800 Model 101 Terminator that has been a recurring figure in the franchise is more likely to fit the bill. The proof is clear in a way in the original movie, as Skynet was desperate enough to change its fate and sent its most advanced killing machine back in time to kill Sarah Connor. The machine's burly physique had to be big and bulky because it was the only way to hide its already big and bulky metal structure, and big and bulky was something Miles Dyson wasn't. Now, as for the face and voice, Skynet had to go through what digital records had been salvaged during the war and looked to someone in the past who was in the military with a physique of accurate shape. This comes from the Terminator 2 expanded lore novel T2 Infiltrator. A man in the Terminator universe who was in the military has his identity survive in the digital archives during the war. This man bears a resemblance to Arnold Schwarzenegger in the real world. Now, the identity of this man varies given one version is described in a novel and another is shown in a movie that doesn't exactly follow the lore due to having its own continuity errors, but still, the man was military. And while there were other Terminator Infiltrator units, like the Frank Columbu Terminator, Arnie was Model 101, meaning he was the first of the Infiltrator units, and therefore he was likely the first chosen as the face of Skynet. As a result, Skynet used this man's voice when it spoke in the T2 Infiltrator novel, and therefore it makes sense for it to model the T-800 it sends back in time to kill Sarah Connor after him. It's symbolic, as Skynet would want to model its most advanced killing machine after itself, as it has modeled itself after a man whose likeness it stole. The Terminator is Skynet's last hope of survival, and by modeling it after Skynet, it's as if Skynet personally is seeing to the death of Sarah Connor itself to ensure its victory over humanity. Therefore, whenever you go back and rewatch any of the Terminator films, good or bad, imagine the Arnie Terminator is actually Skynet itself, trying to rewrite its own future. In a way, it makes sense. The way the Terminator is in each film is basically what Skynet is in that film. In Terminator 1984, Skynet and the Terminator are deadly killing machines trying to kill an innocent woman because they were desperate to save themselves. Then in Terminator 2, Skynet and the Terminator are reprogrammed to try and save humanity because they were taught differently by John and they end up learning from their own mistakes. Now, I know the series is called The Terminator, but when you really think about it, the Terminator really is Skynet in physical form. The Terminator is an extension of its creator, but in essence, it is Skynet. Skynet, the Terminator, they are connected, and they were built for a purpose.